questions. From your vantage point, what did you see happen with Michigan pass rush against your guys' offensive tackles, and how do you guys try to work with this?
It's hard for me to go back because I'm so solely focused on moving forward. After the previous game, I was happy with 0 negative plays other than the victory snap. Michigan came in here really ready to play. They're a really good team. They showed us what it needs to look like, quite frankly, and I think that's a team thing. We made some of the offensive guys watch what they were doing on offense and kind of how they were playing on offense. And so just looking at what it's supposed to look like, I think that taught us something. That team, there's a lot of people on that team that played and won a national championship, right? So give them all the credit in the world, okay? And so after that game, what do we got to do to fix it? How are we going to fix it? I've seen us practice at a very, very high level, okay? So I give our team, our players, Coach Rule, tremendous credit for having the resiliency to come out and practice the way that they did Tuesday and Wednesday. I've never seen it. I've never seen it like that in a bye week, and get away from it for several days, come back focused on Sunday, and then go out again this morning and have a really good practice. Okay, so you play a good team and the outcome isn't what you want it to be, then you just need to learn from it, right? And I think our team has learned from it, and man, I'm thrilled to see what it looks like on Saturday.
In the country in pass yards. I mean, is that what you envisioned, or do you want to see more balance as you guys move forward in the Big Ten schedule?
Yeah, I do. I think Dylan's playing at a very, very, very high level, right? And so how I call plays, I call what's working. Okay, so I don't go into a game saying, man, we need to throw for 350 yards. It's all about how the flow of the game is. Okay, with that said, our running back, our running game, it needs to improve against an opponent like that, right? And so, I was happy with where the run was after the first few games, but then you play a top 20 team that's, a perennial top 20 team, and it didn't look the way it needs to look. We weren't finishing blocks, and that's not a shot at our O-line. That's a shot at our offense because there's so many people that are involved in it, right? First play of the game, Emmett gets 14 yards, and that's the longest run that we had all day, and so we gotta do a better job of scheming things up. We gotta do a better job of sustaining blocks. That's everybody on offense, and then we gotta run harder, and I know a lot's been said about, who number 2 is and all that stuff. I mean, we have options, and it's our job to get them there, and when we put them in there, it needs to look better. So if you want more running, if you want more rushes, then when I call it, it's got to look better. I'm not going to just keep calling things that aren't working for us, right? So we have a very diverse offense, and we can do a lot of different things. We can get the ball to a lot of different people. That, to me, is balance. That's balance, okay? And my job is to call the plays that are working to where we have a chance to be successful.
Help those younger backs come along with the ball's not in there, pass pro and all that stuff.
Yeah, they all getting better. Every time we get out there, I think those guys get better. It's all of them. So, I think you'll see something that you haven't seen on Saturday. I know Coach alluded to that as well, and that's what I'm going to go with.
I know Coach doesn't want to give it away necessarily at the tackle spot either, but how do you feel about how that, competition has worked itself out in general?
Yeah, it's the same conversation. It's the exact same conversation, right? We got to try to settle on who our best players are, and I think all those tackles have had a good 2 weeks. They've pass setted a million times over the last 2 weeks. Okay, and so I think you'll see improvement when it comes to that. That was elite pass rush that we saw. Okay, and now we know what it looks like, and now we know what our bodies have to do and how our bodies need to play. And it's our job as coaches to get the best ones out there.
Find yourself doing from a football perspective on Friday and Saturday when you guys had time without practice and not a game,
2 days away.
Yeah, you know, I don't go out on the road, so, you know, Thursday we worked all day. You know, I came in Friday and just kind of just started keep hammering on Michigan State, got out of here Friday early afternoon and pretended I didn't have a job for about a day and a half. It was an unbelievable weekend for sports. I mean, you had the golf, which was amazing, and then you had all those good games and stuff. And so I ain't gonna lie to you, Friday night, I just watched. You know, a lot of times I would potentially go see my kids or something like that for a day or so. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna stay here and do nothing. And so I watched a lot of football, a lot of teams that we're gonna be playing down the road.
What's your overall evaluation of the red zone, particularly the deep red, not just the run game, but the pass game down there?
Yeah, we gotta get better at it. You know, it's not like we haven't emphasized it. We've emphasized it since the day that I got here. Is one of the first things that I pointed out that we needed to fix. You know, this was game 10 last year, you know, and so, you know, it's a lot of things. We got to do a better job of scheming up runs. We got to do a better job of getting positive yards. We got to do a better job of obviously finishing, you know. I've got to do a better job of more pass game stuff that puts the ball in Dylan's hands and not just one-on-one RPOs. You know, that worked against Cincinnati. We caught 2 one-on-one RPOs, you know, man-to-man. Okay, we're going to face man down there, but I may need to scheme a few things up more, you know. And so I got to get creative. That's my job, and we've done that the last 2 weeks.
What jumps out to you about Michigan State?
Yeah, good team, big, physical. You know, they look like a Big Ten football team to me, you know. And so they're big, they're physical, you know, they do a lot of man stuff in the red zone, so that's going to be something that we're going to have to work on. Tomorrow's a big red zone day for us, and can't wait to get out there and practice it.
Coach, is there number 91 that jumped out at you, that the big defensive tackle they have inside Holgorsen?
Yeah, absolutely. They're thick inside. Their backers are extremely active. You know, Five, the backer, I hate pinpointing one. I know both those guys. Five got booted, but he'll be back, and he's their best player, I think. You know, he's very active and is experienced. I know a couple of those other guys got hurt, but it's gonna be a test, man. I mean, every week in the Big Ten is gonna look the same.
You know, watching just 2 weeks of the Big Ten, a lot of one-score games again last week.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State's winning. What are your thoughts as watching this league play out now for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, it'll be the 5th Big Ten opponent that I've gone against, and every game has been one score. I mean, in our games, they've all been one-score games. You know, I mean, go back to last year when I was here, USC was a one-score game. I guess Wisconsin, we got away from them a little bit, and Iowa was a one-score game. Michigan was a one-score game. You got to go into it thinking every game is going to be a one-score game. You know, and every game, and when you're playing games like that, every drive is important. You know, I mean, you're going to get about 10 to 12 drives, you know, so you better take advantage of every one of them.
All good?
Okay, thank you.